Everyone rolls initiative with the Goblin Archer going first. He moves into position by jumping on top of the rock, albeit slowed by the terrain. Tarek quickly jumps over the chasm to engage with the fast-moving archer, when suddenly a goblin cutter sprints towards, shoving Tarek into the nearby chasm. He succeeds on his strength check. Keela thinks it's a good idea to help her now falling friend as a second goblin archer moves in for its own attack.
So that's basically how combat is run in D&D 5e. I'm going to be calling that the chronological battle system for the rest of this video. And what I really dislike about it is that it can really get boring when it's not your turn. And as a DM, you might not notice it, or maybe you do notice it, but you don't know what to do about it. When the players make the dice towers, when people don't know what's happening, when you have that guy who just keeps going on and on and on about what his character is doing, and you have to sit there and pay attention because that's your job as a DM. I hated it. I wanted to make something brand new, something that had everybody attentive and focused all at the same time. I'm calling it the concurrent battle system because everything happens as close to the same amount of time as possible. First, you want to figure out who goes first. It doesn't really matter. Figure it out any way you want to. This system is faction-based. So flip a coin, roll whatever you want to roll. See what side is going to go first. Because in this system, battle is broken up into phases. They're still broken up into 6-second rounds. Still the same, but those rounds are broken up into phases where everybody acts together. The first phase is the movement phase, and that is all we are focused on doing. Moving our characters into positions. Let's say the PCs go first, so they send their first PC out. Doesn't matter who on the PC team is going first, it's just that they get to go first. They move to their position, enemy goblin moves, allied PC moves, enemy goblin moves, keep going back and forth until everyone is done. It is important that this phase is just movement. It's the movement phase. Getting into position. After that, we have the action phase, where everyone does their actions from their current positions. It's as easy as that. Everybody rolls their damage dice at the same time. We all, as a group, figure out who dies, who lives, who's scraping by, and it's a fun time for everyone. And then if someone hasn't used all their movement, we go back to the movement phase, right after the action phase. Just like in a normal turn. It's pretty much a turn from the chronological battle system, but everyone does everything at the same time. Anything that you would do in your normal turn in a normal game just happens at the same time in this one. There are 3 more kind of special effects to this, though. The first thing is, what about people with high initiative? Oh, if everybody rolls together, then I feel like I don't get a bonus to my initiative. But you do. If you have a bonus to initiative, like if you have the alert feat, there's a special phase just for them. Before the battle begins, anybody who has a bonus to initiative rolls a d20. And only bonuses to initiative. Not bonuses to dexterity, which gives a bonus to initiative, but direct buffs to initiatives. Those people get this roll. Roll a d20, and if you get 20 or higher, you get access to the quick phase, which is right after the movement phase. In the quick phase, you get to do whatever action you want to do. But it takes away the action that's going to come next. You just get to do it before everyone else. This is cool because you might be able to kill something before it gets the chance to attack. The next phase is the Lair action phase. This is only for bosses. It doesn't come up all the time. But in chronological-based combat, the bosses get Lair actions on roll count 20. That means if a fighter rolled 18 and a dragon rolled a 2, the fighter will be going before the dragon. But the next round, on roll count 20, the dragon's going to get its Lair action phase, and then the fighter's going to get its attack, and then the dragon's going to get its normal turn-based attack. The quick phase and the Lair action phase kind of go hand in hand because they both revolve around the number 20 in the initiative count system. If you have a bonus to initiative and roll 20 and up, you get access to the quick phase, which happens before the Lair action phase, which is already happening at roll count 20. After the Lair action phase, a normal action phase. The normal action phase is had. So this is a typical combat scenario. We have movement, quick phase, if you gain access to it, Lair action phase if there's a boss monster, action phase for everyone, movement phase for everyone if they haven't moved or finished moving, and then for all those characters that get extra actions, guess what? You add another action phase. And you just keep going down the list until everyone has done all their actions. Everyone has moved as far as they want to move. Good, everything's fine and dandy. Now there are two other things that are interesting in concurrent battle system, and that's opportunity attacks and bonus actions. Bonus actions are easy. You just do them whenever you want. During the movement phase, between the movement phase and the action phase, during a quick phase, during a layer action phase, whenever you could normally cast it. That is. Opportunity attacks, it's the same thing. If someone moves away from you, you get the free attack. But the only caveat is that person must have started the phase, any phase, next to you, and then moved away from you within that same phase to get the opportunity attack. Let's say there's a movement phase, there's a fighter and a goblin far away. The fighter runs up to the goblin, but the goblin doesn't want to fight, so during its turn in the movement phase, it moves back. It's not going to trigger an opportunity attack. But if two combatants are together, a whole new round starts for whatever reason. Let's say the battle's been going on forever. Those two combatants are facing each other and one wants to pull away. They started the movement phase right next to each other. The goblin pulls away. The fighter gets an opportunity attack. Easy. There's an action phase. Two characters are fighting each other. The goblin decides to attack, but the rogue is going to take a chance and dash away, furthering its movement. During its action phase, the goblin is going to get a free opportunity attack because they started the action phase right next to each other. And that's it. So let's look at the first scenario again, but with this system turning the gears under it.
In chronological battle system, things get iffy for Tarek right after he jumps over the chasm. Normally, with turn order, he'd attack the goblin archer, thus exposing himself to the goblin cutter that swoops in next. He's completely open and can do nothing about this. In the concurrent battle system, his action wouldn't be used. He would only be in a position to act instead of having already acted. Now, when the goblin cutter swoops in, he retains his autonomy over himself, and he can choose to engage with the goblin archer or the cutter. He chooses the cutter this time, and Keelik comes in to help out. The differences between these two systems are small, but crucial, and at the heart, both are great ways to conduct battles. I'm just simply adding another tool into your DM toolbox to spice up your games. Have fun!